And he had, of course, all-conference performer, defensive player of the year in the WCC. He is the headliner for St. Mary's. And there's the early steal. This is what they do. And how about that start by Baldwin?
It's the deliberate offense of St. Mary's versus the disruptive defense of VCU in this matchup. And right away, you can see an impact on the quickness and the length VCU has in the first possession.
Exactly what Randy Bennett has been talking about with his staff and his players over the last couple of days, trying to prepare for this pressure-packed VCU defense. And already Debbie extending their defense as they now drop back into the half-court set.
You have to be strong with the basketball. You cannot turn it over. And St. Mary's can go deeper into their shot clock with their offensive options. They've got balance on the floor offensively.
This is Aiden Mahaney. It's a revelation this year as a freshman in this program as they turn it over.
If you're going to make this flat lateral pass, you better put some zip on it. Great anticipation by the A10 Defensive Player of the Year.
Third time in the dance for VCU in the 5+ years under Mike Rhodes. Yet to break through as they look for their first tournament win since he took over. Offensive rebound, Johns, the Michigan transfer, and then contact and free throws coming up on the aggressive move to the cup by Nicholas Kern, and he'll shoot 2 free throws.
Now you mentioned it, Spiro. VCU comes in winners of 9 in a row after their 5-4 start at the beginning of the season, and Randy Bennett's team kind of limping in with 2 of their last 3 games as losses to Gonzaga.
Alex Dukas, the man, whistled for the foul, and Debbie, you had to wonder psychologically if there would be a hangover after that 26-point loss to Gonzaga in the WCC Tournament Championship game. It's just a highly anticipated meeting between the two schools, and they just fell flat. How do they recover?
Well, St. Mary's is going to need to settle in, right? They don't need to get caught up in the frenetic pace that VCU wants them to play at. They have to move the ball, reverse it, get in the gap, look to kick.
Here's Mahaney. Young man plays with all kinds of confidence. Didn't play well in the championship game against Gonzaga. Misses everything there. Shot clock didn't reset. Back to Mahaney. 3 to shoot. They bottle him up into the corner. Dukas on a 3, missed it. And another offensive rebound. Tracked down by Kyle Bowen. Mahaney. So a little bit of nerves here at the start for the Gaels. Baldwin setting the table. Johns turned back. That was Kyle Bowen with a clean strip. Bowen the trailer. Beautiful pass. A lot of contact. No whistle. As Mitchell Saxen was turned back. What a defensive play by Jalen DeLoach.
And watch the timing right here. This is just a great recovery. Big time block to ignite their offense going the other way, and those are kind of plays that St. Mary's is going to need. If they can score quickly, they got to take the best shot available for them. If they wait too late in the shot clock, that could be trouble for them.
Did appear to be considerable contact, but the officials letting them play through it, at least here at the start. Saxen, junior out of Seattle. Shot clock in the single digits. Mahaney. Desperately need him to have a big one today for the Gaels. Doubled up inside. That's a force. Saxen unable to clean it up. And Debbie, all kinds of jitters for St. Mary's. They've missed their first 7.
A lot of contact on the ball handler and Mahaney. He's going to have to play through now. You're going to have to adjust to the whistle.
Well, despite being a 5 seed, St. Mary's has the distinction of traveling the furthest for its opening round game, almost 3,000 miles. From the state of California here to the New York State Capitol. This is Brandon Johns Jr. The spin, bottled up by Saxen, missed it. Good interior defense by Saxen. Here's Aiden Mahaney, all-conference first team in the WCC in his first year in the program.
That hard hedge by Johns. They rotate really well out of that.
Johnson left open. And St. Mary's still looking for its first points, almost 3.5 minutes in.
Yet VCU hasn't been able to take advantage of it yet.
A little bit of contact around the screen. It's a turnover. Off the hands of Jaden Nunn, and it belongs to the Gaels. Well, you can watch CBS Sports HQ for free 24/7 coverage of the big dance and all the biggest moments in sports. Catch tournament highlights, picks, previews, recaps, and much more. Download the CBS Sports app to watch today. First substitution of the day, David Shriver, the Hartford transfer, senior. As both of these two teams, Debbie, sometimes you see this early in the opening round game. Poor shooting, 1 of 12 combined shooting. Make it 2 for 13. Beautiful backdoor cut as St. Mary's gets his first points finally off a pretty pass by Saxen. Dukas on the finish.
You got to have those concepts already in your system when you go against a pressure team that's trying to speed you up. Oh my goodness.
Toby Lawal.
Way above the rim.
Incredible athleticism, just couldn't squeeze it. Well, it took the Gaels almost 4 minutes. They finally put one down with Dukas. Early stages on TBS.
There was no tournament at all. Ace Baldwin Jr. told me those combined experiences, along with outsiders underestimating this VCU team, now has them collectively playing with a chip on their shoulder. And Baldwin says they're excited to be dancing and prove those doubters wrong, hopefully with a deep run this year, guys.
Yeah, AJ, such an emotional roller coaster ride to get themselves back to this point as they get another offensive rebound to the Gaels. Mahaney, meantime, continues to misfire. The Gaels now 0 of 5 from deep. But they're doing some work on the offensive glass. Dukas, tough floater, and he puts it down. Yeah, so Dukas with both of their first 2 field goals.
They survived that first 4 minute, right? They didn't play their best. Now they've settled in a little bit, and now they're picking up with a little bit of pressure on their own. This is more of a pack line defense. They look to extend right now against VCU.
Mike Rhodes going deep into his bench already. 4 different subs coming into the game. This is Zeb Jackson. He's got a pretty good handle. Step back triple, missed it. And a loose change corralled by Johnson.
St. Mary's wants to keep VCU out of the paint. You got to show gaps, show numbers in the gap, and make them see 1.5. You can't let them get inside. Force them to the perimeter.
Dukas resets to Mahaney with 10 to shoot.
St. Mary's doing a better job running their stuff here late.
Johnson gets his rebound back, and he'll shoot a couple of free throws. But Debbie, this is what you've been talking about, the pressure defense of VCU. How do the Gaels handle that? Big part of the story in this game.
You got to be able to have other ways to get into your offense, and you have to have this in your package and concepts already, and Randy Bennett does. High post entries, dribble entries, ball fake, shot fake, backdoor cuts. We've already seen them score a bucket on a backdoor.
So here's Logan Johnson. That'd be hard to have a better season than he did. Their leading scorer. We mentioned defensive player of the year in the WCC. And his offensive game has just gone to a different level. 20-plus points in 6 of their last 8 games entering this one today.
I think he is a tremendous compliment to what Aiden Mahaney brings. He's a really good three-point shooter. That's multiple ball handlers against an up-the-line overplaying VCU defense.
Shriver's going to pull. That's good. David Shriver, West Virginia kid, Hartford transfer. The journey he has been on. Started at a Division II school in West Virginia, then to Hartford, and he has tied this game for the Rams. Mahaney trying to get his offensive game going. Saxen, couple of fakes, beautifully done.
I think as long as Shriver is on the floor, they look to put him in multiple ball screen actions defensively and neutralize that three-point range.
Turnover by Deloach, second committed by VCU. Mike Rhodes, little conversation with DJ Karstensen. As the early feeling out process, Debbie, continues between these two teams.
You know, Spiro, all these dead ball opportunities here. VCU comes with multiple looks. Here they are trapping. You can't pick it up over midcourt. You got to be careful where you inbound the ball also. Keep it off the sidelines, out of the corners.
So the poor three-point shooting by St. Mary's, trying to survive the early couple of minutes. Open look at a corner three from Bowen won't go, and the rebound controlled by Deloach.
I think in the quarter court, St. Mary's is getting the shots that they want. They've got to start knocking them down.
And the struggles that they had in that WCC final against Gonzaga followed them across the country, at least here at the start. So just past the 13-minute mark, here comes Baldwin to the rack. What a matchup between him and Johnson. Baldwin gets the better that time.
They go two-side with their pick-and-roll game, and that is just a great take. Getting to his left hand by Baldwin.
Baldwin just under 13 points per game. Junior out of Baltimore, and we are tied at 8. This is Bowen. Terrific defender. Kicks out. Open look at a three. Won't go from Dukas. And the Rams control with Baldwin. Rams that impressive win in the A-10 final against Dayton as they draw some contact on the perimeter here at the 12:19 mark. Or you can watch live men's games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Scan the QR code now to download. Talked about how hot and confident this Rams team is. A-10 regular season champs and also won the A-10 conference tournament. Only the second time they've done that in their history. But 9 straight wins, their longest winning streak, Debbie, in 4 years. They haven't lost since the 7th of February. Shriver looked like Bowen got a piece.
Really good job by Bowen to come with that long closeout on Shriver. Make him put it on the floor or contest like that.
What a pass. Saxen, the recipient. And Alex Dukas, he's been their best player at the start, dropping dimes.
See how wide open the court is? They have the VCU defense all spread out, and that's what you want so you can get those looks and get those lanes to the bucket.
Baldwin, a little bit of a floater. Johnson clears. Debbie, in some ways, they're like mirror images of each other. Johnson and Baldwin, feisty, fearless lead guards.
Two lefties that dominate the ball offensively on the defensive end as well.
Whistle blown here on the perimeter. It's a reach in on Baldwin. That ball movement by the Gaels. And St. Mary's. Pressure on this program to break through and to get to the second weekend of this tournament.
Well, you think about the West Coast Conference having 2 top 5 seeds in this tournament, right? And to your point, I mean, Gonzaga is and has been the dominant program, and Randy Bennett has been right there. And this year they got a win over them. They did lose the last 2 times they played him, but this senior class has had some W's against Gonzaga. And right now, to AJ's interview, I mean, there's 5 baskets, 3 of which are assisted, and they only have that 1 turnover on that first possession.
That was the sophomore from Lithuania, Augustas Maršalonis, son of the European basketball legend, Hall of Famer. And St. Mary's started 1 of 11 shooting, but since they are 4 of their last 7. As this game has turned quickly, 7 to shoot. This is Kern, drive and kick. Johns, side pocket 3. Whistle blown underneath. Looks like contact against VCU. The basket will count. It's on Jalen Deloach underneath. And that's going to be his second, so Deloach will have to sit.
Now this is why you have to keep him out of the paint, and Saxen over helps, knowing that Johns is a terrific 3-point shooter in the corner. And then you see the shove right there for the foul.
Johns, the graduate transfer. He's got 10 games of NCAA tournament experience, couple of Sweet 16s with Michigan, of course that Elite 8 run a couple of years ago. As Deloach sits, we get contact here on the perimeter. Debbie, what's changed for St. Mary's? How have they weathered that early storm?
It's their experience here, right? It's their maturity, their poise. They've not turned it over. They're running their stuff. They're getting the shots that they want. Now they're starting to fall, even though they haven't made a three.
Marciulionis to Bowen. Now Dukas resets to Marciulionis. Cross court, this is Bowen. Puts it on the deck against Johns. Beautiful cut. Johnson had his pocket picked. What a play by Baldwin. Kern behind the back. Takes him to the schoolyard.
Transition off their defense, and their team speed will be too much for St. Mary's to catch up with.
So we crossed the midway point of this first half. This is Saxen on the box, backing down the wall. Steps middle with a little hesitation. What a play by Saxen.
A lot of times VCU likes to bring two to the ball in that situation and look to double, and that's why it's important for Saxen to be able to score in that one-on-one.
Saxen, one of the kids who really struggled in that West Coast Conference tournament final against Gonzaga. He only scored 5 points, but he has bounced back quickly so far in this one. Kern puts it on the deck, little Euro step, and he goes glass.
You have to play Kern as a driver. Maybe a little defensive fake at him, and then make sure you keep him out of the paint. So athletic off the bounce.
Kern began the year as a reserve for Mike Rhodes, but he has emerged, inserted into the starting lineup in early January as St. Mary's turns it over, and it's Kern again. But look at Kyle Bowen trying to rip it back. Possession arrow favors the Rams.
We watch Kern right here get out on the break, and Baldwin just leaves it out there for him to finish. This is a tremendous move. He's only made 2 triples on the season. That's why you come with a shorter closeout and keep him out of the paint. So good at finishing around the rim.
Looks like Kern is relacing that left sneaker. Everyone catches their breath. First round coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship begins today. ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and ESPN News. For more information on game times and listings, just visit NCAA.com.
That's why today should be a national holiday.
It feels like it, right?
So much hoops going on right now. Who wants to go to work on a day like this?
I play hooky. It is hoops paradise if you're a basketball fan. These first 2 full days of the tournament, as Brandon Johns draws contact. It's on Kyle Bowen, and that's his first.
Oh, he lowers his shoulder. I don't know about that. I mean, you got a referee displacement in this situation. Usually the first bump is good. The second bump is usually when there's a whistle.
The VCU may have been fortunate that time. Baldwin again shadowed by Johnson. Second defender, Saxen coming over. My goodness.
You build that wall at the rim, and that's how crafty Ace Baldwin is at finishing. You got to make him go right. It's too good going to the left to a strong hand.
That kid's got talent for days. And the interior defense by VCU. That was Christian Fermin going up high for the block. So the early foul trouble with Deloach as Mike Rhodes has to go a little bit deeper into his bench. And VCU comes up empty.
It takes all 5 on the glass for St. Mary's, and they're perfectly fine with coming down here and running their stuff.
Christian Fermin, only 13 appearances entering this one, but he's summoned early here by Mike Rhodes. 7:30 left in the half. St. Mary's with possession, down 3. Dukas. Boy, he has been incredible. Saxen, the recipient.
Dukas is tough now. He has got experience. He's made 84 threes. He's their best three-point shooter coming into the game.
Baldwin, the shiftiness into the corner. This is Kern. Bottled up underneath by Dukas. Here comes Baldwin. And deflected out of bounds by Bowen. Sensational defensive player for Randy Bennett.
Ace Baldwin to that left hand, into the chest of the shot blocker, high VCU, more disruptive. Finesse, versus frenetic. I think St. Mary's is a little bit better defensively than they've been given credit for, the way they play. This is a little bit more of an extension of a pack line, and they've got to locate the three-point shooters and make VCU stay out of the paint with their defense.
Leaning shot, Shriver back of the rim. And the rebound is corralled by Joshua Jefferson, the freshman out of Las Vegas. As he checks in for the first time. St. Mary's, if you've just joined us, missed 10 of its first 11 shots. But was able to survive. This is Dukas. He's been their catalyst so far. That one deflected out of bounds. DJ Carstensen says stay right here. It belongs to the Gaels. And St. Mary's, Debbie, 0 of 8 from deep.
Yet they've been able to get some offensive rebounds, right, Spiro, and sending only one to the glass because they don't want to worry about the team speed going the other way.
Dukas finally gets a triple.
Well, Randy Bennett's team is so good on situational offense. Baseline out of bounds, sideline out of bounds after timeouts, when the clock stops and you can run a set.
Well, where would they be here without Alex Dukas at the start? 7 points, he's got 3 assists. 2-point game as the Rams trying to get it inside, and they will inbound. Best Coke ever? Only one way to find out. Take a taste. So excited to have you with us. MVP Arena, downtown Albany, New York. In the New York State Capitol, first of 4 on the second full day of March Madness. Spiro Dedes, Debbie Antonelli, AJ Ross, rest of our TBS crew. Logan Johnson defending Ace Baldwin. Baldwin puts it on the deck to the cup. Those two, Debbie, I got a feeling they're going to be going at each other right up until the last second.
A couple of lefties off the bounce. You got to know personnel, right? You got to do a better job on that scout defensively. And then there's just really good offense.
Baldwin, those active hands. A-10 Defensive Player of the Year. This is Nunn, puts it on the deck. Swallowed up on the baseline. Deflected out of bounds, last touched by Bowen. And everyone talks about Logan Johnson, Debbie, Defensive Player of the Year in the West Coast, but you talk to people around the program and they think that this kid is just as good defensively, and we are seeing that already.
Well, he's a guy that knows his role well. He has more rebounds than points on the season, yet he's a really good three-point shooter.
This is Shriver. Feeds Johns on the box. 10 to shoot. Back and got, look at Bowen. There he is with his defense. Mahaney ahead of the field. And Johnson. Hard stuff. So we crossed the 5-minute mark. St. Mary's and VCU. It's your typical 5-12 matchup. With a Rams team that has won 9 straight regular season A-10 tournament champs. But it has been Alex Dukas for the Gaels.
I mean, Dukas has been on the glass. He's got the floater. He's been able to drop it off, getting inside that VCU defense and off the out-of-bounds play. Sticks the first triple for St. Mary's, who's 1 for 9 at this point.
And Mitchell Saxen has bounced back from his struggles as Kyle Bowen has to sit. That's a big call here, Debbie, as he picks up his second personal at the 4:46 mark of the first half. Have to think that he may be done now until the break.
Well, you got the freshman Joshua Jefferson now on the floor at 6'8", so maybe a little more size, but not the same experience.
Watkins taking contact. Foul came before the shot as Jameer Watkins putting it on the deck. Foul charge to Mahaney. And that's his first.
5 times Randy Bennett has been the West Coast Conference Coach of the Year, including this year. He went over the 500 win mark in February. I think he's a tremendous teacher. We've had him in the tournament before, and watch this team from the beginning of the year. They have gotten better, and they are very connected on the offensive end.
Look at that, taking flight. Zeb Jackson, 2 years at Michigan, his first year in this VCU program. That was a thing of beauty.
That's a tough matchup for Aiden Mahaney. He's going to need some help on that.
This has been close right from the start. 4 ties, 5 lead changes. 7 on the timer. Jefferson, turn back.
Well, Logan Johnson shouldn't be giving Jefferson the ball that late in the shot clock.
Debbie was just thinking the same thing. Your lead guard has to know better in that spot. What a matchup we've got. St. Mary's and VCU getting it on here in Albany. Jackson Skywalker.
Of the year in the A-10 is long and active and has a high basketball IQ, the way he plays angles and understands the defensive scout and his purpose on the top of that defense.
Young man who has overcome a ton. Lost his father in 2019 to leukemia. He was so tight with him. They had such a close bond. Question whether or not he wanted to continue playing basketball, but what a decision it has been for him in this program. As we get a kick here, and the basketball belongs to St. Mary's. There's the Baldwin family. Just think of the emotion involved. His mother, Nina. What this moment must be like for the families, Debbie.
I'd be so proud of what Ace has been able to do in leading this team, and what a great young man. The staff talks about his personality. He wants to win. He's a competitor.
This is going to be an offensive foul, says DJ Carstensen, as we throw it over to AJ.
Well, guys, I had the chance to speak with Ace Baldwin yesterday, and like you've been mentioning, his efforts on both ends of the floor, he really takes pride, especially defensively, shutting down the opposing team's top player. And that's exactly what he's been trying to do with Logan Johnson today. He said, assign me to whoever the best guy is. I don't want him to get his average. That's what he's more proud of than putting up points, guys.
AJ, it's such a rarity for a kid that young at his age to have that kind of dog in him and want to perform defensively. Johns unable to put it down. The rebound corralled by St. Mary's. So all tied at 21 as we hit the 3-minute mark before halftime. Saxen working against Schreiber, puts it down.
Big time mismatch. Because they push in transition, they get that matchup early, and they find it.
Jackson, exquisite pass, gets it to Johns, and he's headed to the free throw line.
Brandon Johns has been so solid in this first half. He's already hit a triple in the corner, and then a little screen and roll action. They are putting Aiden Mahaney in difficult situations on the defensive end. That was a nice job to clear it out and let Johns use that physical frame at the rim.
So Aiden Mahaney now the second St. Mary's starter that has to sit with his second personal. Bowen has been on the bench for the last couple of minutes.
And you know, Randy Bennett doesn't really like the 2-foul rule in the first half. I mean, he has been known to play his guys with 2. But as long as the possessions of the game stay where it is right now, there's no reason to put him in.
It gives him that luxury. See how Bennett handles it here for the final 2+. This is Marshallonis inside. Nice find to Saxen. And contact before the shot on the Rams underneath. And a 1-and-1 situation for Saxen. A reminder coming up, AT&T at the half, scores and highlights. Get you all the latest NCAA tournament news. It's all coming up next on AT&T at the half. Actually, one more foul to give. The inbound by Dukas turned back. VCU running the break. This is their game. Johns, exquisite pass from Watkins.
I think Johns has been fantastic, playing his role, playing at a high level.
So contact here. This will put St. Mary's in the 1-and-1, but Debbie, again, this is their calling card. Pressure defense leading to the transition game.
Well, you push and then you fill behind the transition and the penetration to the rim. It's a great read by Brandon Johns.
So Augustus Marshallonis, 75% free throw shooter. Sophomore, born and raised in Lithuania. And if your last name is Marshallonis, you can shoot.
That's right. And you can play overall, right?
Basketball in his hands at a very young age. And he has tied this game at 25 with 2:03 left before halftime. Winner of this one advances to take on the winner between Connecticut and Iona. That's game 2 here in Albany coming up on TBS. Hearn puts it on the deck, so Bowen checks back in. Debbie, to your point, with playing with 2 personals. Nice cut inside, but it's taken by Dukas. 5th VCU turnover. And St. Mary's giving the Rams a taste of their own medicine. Marshallonis, pretty little push shot.
Points off defense, points off your turnovers. That's a number to keep an eye on with St. Mary's. Not as physical, more of a finesse, but a really good job of locking down.
Gaels don't get a ton of scoring off their bench, but Marshallonis has given them a nice little jolt. 10 to shoot. Johns back to the basket against Saxen. Banging bodies. Saxen the steal.
Saxen doing a really good job of walling up. Then Johns picks up the foul.
And then Johns whistled for a reach-in foul, so another 1-and-1 situation. Here's your game summary at the 61-second mark of this opening half. Debbie, what have you seen over the last 10 and change after that shaky start by St. Mary's?
Well, I think they've just settled in and run their stuff offensively, and they have tremendous spacing. And when you're playing against an over-aggressive, up-the-line defensive team, to be able to maintain that space and get the shots you want by getting inside out, reversing the basketball, getting multiple sides, and they're not turning it over.
Alex Dukas hits on the front end. Perfect are the Gaels at the line, 5 of 5. And this is the St. Mary's team that everyone expected. It was just jolting to see how much they struggled in that WCC final against Gonzaga and how quickly that game got away from them.
But Gonzaga's really good.
Right. But a 26-point loss, just stunning. 50 seconds. Baldwin fires and hits.
He is the calming in the storm, right? He's the calming influence. That's a big-time bucket. If he can get to his left hand going left, he is tough to stop.
Jefferson puts it in the deck. They got a piece. That interior defense. That was Fermin with his 2nd block in this opening half. Again, kid who only had made 13 appearances on the season. And it looks like Randy Bennett wants to take a timeout. With 28.5 left before halftime. We got a good one brewing here in Albany. St. Mary's over VCU on TBS.
Because they've been offensively and been deliberate in their pace, they've done a pretty good job on the defensive end as well.
St. Mary's this season went leading at the half, 22-1. VCU 7-4 in games in which they have trailed. It's only a 1-point game, and just like that, the Rams move back in front.
Here's the other thing too, Spiro, is Deloach gets back on the floor for VCU with those 2 quick fouls. He only played 6 minutes in the first half.
So Jaden Nunn with his first points. Good ball movement. St. Mary's so good with it. Deliberate. We heard the studio talking about this St. Mary's offense. They just never panicked after that slow start. And Mitchell Saxen, we talked about his struggles against Gonzaga the other day. He was their best offensive player in the first half.
Well, they've got some size in there, and that's their advantage. They've won the battle of the glass in the first half. But now Deloach back on the floor could change a few things for VCU on the boards.
So a big call early in the second half, just 33 seconds into it. Brandon Johns Jr. has to sit with his 3rd personal. How long does Mike Rhodes keep him on the bench?
I think that's a big situation right here for them, because I thought he was their best interior guy in the first half.
St. Mary's had to deal with some foul issues in the first half. A couple of their starters. Baldwin, miscommunication. Unable to locate Deloach as we throw it over to AJ.
Well, Spiro, Mike Rhodes emphasized to his team at halftime they have to play with pace and take it to the paint. They cannot hold the ball and allow St. Mary's defense to reset. And he also said this marquee matchup between Ace Baldwin and Logan Johnson, that Baldwin's efforts cannot be understated on both sides of the floor, guys.
AJ has been incredible.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. He and Johns are the reason why this is where the game is right now. Let's see if Aiden Mahaney can get going. He was scoreless in the first half.
He missed all 5 of his shots, but so far a good offensive start for the Gaels, as they will earn another trip to the free throw line. The ball movement has been terrific. And Debbie, the first full day of the tournament did not disappoint.
No question about it. 21 seconds left at the end of that Arizona game, and they don't get a good look. Princeton finishes that one off as a 15 seed.
A lot of people were talking about Arizona potentially having a big run through March Madness. That bid ends on the very first day of their tournament bid. So here's Logan Johnson at the free throw line. He's a finalist for the Lou Henson Award that's given to the top mid-major player. Since February the 9th, Johnson averaging nearly 23 points per game. That puts him 4th among all players in this tournament in that stretch. And he has picked up where he's left off. Baldwin, mid-range jumper won't go. And it's last touched by Johnson.
I'll tell you what, Saxen is doing a really good job in that ball screen defense, because Logan Johnson is getting over the top on Ace Baldwin. Now, you know he's left-handed and he wants to go left, but you got to corral him and gap him up a little bit and force him to take that mid-range jump shot.
Nunn slithering inside. Again, that Gaels interior defense. Johnson, backdoor. Everything but the finish. As St. Mary's comes up empty. Here's Nunn, quiet start. Had the early bucket, but a minute into the second half, as Deloach unable to guide it home. One-point St. Mary's lead. 2 minutes gone by the second half. Mahaney leads Saxen to the rack.
That is a great play by Aiden Mahaney. He has been bothered by the length of Nunn when he's been on the floor. He read that perfectly. Great roll to the rim.
And look at the numbers for Mitchell Saxen. VCU. Boy, what a play to save it by Nunn. Shot clock into single digits. Kern the kick. Baldwin from deep. And last touch by the Gaels. Well, how close was this? Potential backcourt violation.
That's a backcourt. Come on.
Oh, yeah,
Was that right foot down?
Definitely backcourt. It's a violation.
Little backdoor cut. Baldwin. And that's another turnover. So VCU having some offensive issues here, Debbie, at the start of the second half.
That's 3 times they've tried to connect backdoor. Twice on a bounce, 1 on a lob. They haven't been able to complete those plays. And they've all resulted in turnovers.
St. Mary's a 5 seed in the tournament for a second straight year. That matches their highest ever ranking in the NCAA tournament. 26-7 this season in the West Coast Conference. They actually were the 1 seed in the conference tournament after splitting the season series with Gonzaga. 5 to shoot. Saxen a kick. Three-pointer won't go from Bowen.
And one of the adjustments out of the locker room for Randy Bennett is that middle ball screen action. They've gone to it 3 times in a row.
Boy, Deloach, a little bit of contact on the lean-in. This one is against St. Mary's. Oh, one word can change everything. Shazam! Fury of the Gods now playing only in theaters. It's rated PG-13. Get tickets today. It has been physical. As Aiden Mahaney is just whistled for his 3rd personal. Debbie, how does Randy Bennett handle this year with still so much time left? First free throw by Deloach makes it a 2-point game.
Well, I think Aiden Mahaney has not been able to be effective on the offensive end. I think the length has bothered him. I think defensively, VCU has put him in some ball screen action. Let's see how long Randy Bennett will keep him out there. You know, they do have a shorter bench than VCU.
So this is what both coaches now are dealing with. As we get a whistle here, and that VCU full court defense now bothering the Gaels, forcing them into a turnover.
10-second backcourt.
Mahaney just not a quick enough decision.
I think he's been hesitant all game.
See what he's done on the season. Just an incredible first year in this program. But his struggles now, we started to see towards the tail end of their conference tournament trickling in here to Albany.
What a start for Saxton. He gets that deflection there.
The St. Mary's defense, Debbie, now has forced 10 VCU turnovers. And already 3 in this half. Mahaney into the corner, gets it back to reset. Another Bowen, 5 to shoot. Saxen working on Fermin. That was a thing of beauty.
It is all Saxton here in the second half for St. Mary's. Saxon has been fantastic.
20 to shoot. Jackson trying to wiggle his way through a tight space, and this will be a reach-in foul, a little bit of a body bump. But St. Mary's riding the hot hand of Saxon. They're up 4 on TBS. Boy, has it worked for this program. Kyle Bowen and Alex Dukas' parents have made that long trip. Steve and Catherine making the trip from Australia. And Alex's folks, Aaron and Andrea. What a moment for them to take over. They said, that is Schreiber on a 3-point check.
Really good execution off the timeout by Mike Rhodes. And what has been effective for St. Mary's here in the second half has been getting the ball inside to Mitchell Saxon. He's got 5 points here in 5 minutes of play.
Big call against St. Mary's before the last commercial. Aiden Mahaney picked up his 4th personal, so he is now on the bench. And Augustus Marshallonis has been reinserted by Randy Bennett. Saxon the kick. Dukas extra pass. Saxon, but look how quickly they converged. 1 to shoot. Marshallonis the fire. Got it! And his prayer is answered. And Marshallonis putting together a big one off the bench.
Well, he's going to have to play extended minutes here. He's going to get called for the block. Poise, patience, deliberate, inside out, playing through Saxon. And you got to have some of these go in March. Part of the madness.
Maybe they need someone else to step into that void with Mahaney's struggles. And so far it has been Marshallonis off the bench. Baldwin against Johnson. Marquee matchup in this one. Baldwin will fire. Got his feet tangled up. Boy, Baldwin's hurt. Oh boy. Clutching at his right leg.
Good sportsmanship by Logan Johnson to go over there.
Oh boy.
Giving him a minute.
They got their legs tangled up on the follow through, the little kick out by Baldwin. And now all kinds of concern with the athletic trainer coming onto the court. Baldwin, the heart and soul of this VCU team. And everyone holding their breath. So it looks like the right ankle. Debbie, these kids know their bodies so well. That initial reaction sometimes tells you a lot.
Just put some weight on it.
There's his mother, Nina. Always concern on her face. So the good news, at least for the moment, he's able to walk off on his own power. Take a look at that kick, boy, right there. Oh, boy. Awkward land, all of his weight on the back of that right leg. And they're going to take a closer look at him now at the end of that bench. And the concern of a mother, as she and all of us here hope for the best.
Hopefully he was just scared and he'll be okay based on his ability to put some weight on it.
Well, what a turning point that is now in this game, with Baldwin going to the locker room at the 14-12 mark of the first half. Now it looks like he's actually taking a seat at the end of the bench. So more contact and more fouls whistled here. It's on Saxen, his second, and already the 5th team foul, Debbie, against the Gaels. So they only have one more to give. Johns inside. A little bit of contact, fight for it. And Johnson holds. So now the psychology of this VCU team, how do they regather here after seeing their star and leader limp to the bench?
I think they continue to keep the pace on the defensive end and move the ball and continue to find the right open shooter.
Saxen outside. This is Dukish. One to shoot, has to fire. Dumps off. They don't get it off. By the time Dukish recognized it was too late. And now it looks like the officials are going to take another look to confirm whether or not this was indeed a shot clock violation. Appears to be clear from that vantage point.
Still in his hand. This shouldn't take long. Clock light horn is how you evaluate it.
Just a quick glance. Terrific experienced crew here. DJ Karstensen, Brent Hampton, and Nate Harris. They have confirmed. In the meantime, they continue to work on that lower right leg of Baldwin. And AJ will get us an update as quickly as she can.
So this will put none on the top of the floor offensively. Running the point.
So the Rams struggles. They've missed 6 of their last 7. This is Jackson, bottled up for a moment. Missed it off glass.
Tell you what, Spiro, St. Mary's continues to do a good job on the glass. They really haven't given up much on the offensive end. One shot D. On the offensive boards, they haven't given up much.
Marshalonis drives and kicks. Open look at a 3. Missed it. Bowen, good look at it. Kept alive by Dukas. Shot clock resets. Bowen from the corner puts it down, and contact.
They have done a nice job of moving the ball and taking advantage of that hard hedge. Nice take on the baseline. You see Saxen clearing out some space.
So Deloach whistled for his 3rd personal. Well, you can get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament at ncaa.com. So here's Kyle Bowen, mainstay of this program. He has started every game over the last 2 years. These folks making that long journey from Australia. And he has given the Gaels their largest lead of the day.
They got to go pick and roll here with Johns.
And VCU will have more free throws. Aggressive move to the cut by Jameer Watkins. And he'll shoot a pair. VCU under Mike Rhodes, 21st in the country in free throw attempts per game. They average about 22.4. These will only be their 6th and 7th, Debbie, of this one so far.
They have 4 players that have attempted over 100 free throws. They're just one of 12 teams that have done that this season.
Still examining Baldwin. And look at what they have done. To Debbie's point, 4 players in triple digits in terms of attempts. That's a staggering number.
Yet the discipline of St. Mary's has done a nice job of keeping them off the free throw line. Just 4 for 7 today.
There's that full court pressure, dropping into the half court as Johnson has to burn a timeout. Everyone's going to catch their breath. 5-point St. Mary's lead.
Right ankle, calf area, using some contrasting resistance bands on him at the end of the bench. And then Baldwin walked off to the side and did some calf raises before going into the locker room. As I get some more updates on his status for the remainder of this game, I'll let you guys know.
All right, AJ, great stuff. And I just hope for the best. Can't overstate his importance, Debbie, to this team, both ends of the floor.
He's the only guy in double figures for them, Spiro. He has 11.
How quickly can they recover, as this one is St. Mary's basketball with 11 seconds to shoot. As we take a look at advanced stats presented by Invesco QQQ, see how he's impacted their three-point shooting. Just hasn't been the same team when he's been on the bench. Logan Johnson inside, and it's a steal. Schreiber. 9 St. Mary's turnovers. Debbie, we expected some gnarly defense. It's exactly what we've got so far.
Low scoring, each possession highly competitive. Big rebound by Johnson right there.
Jameer Watkins, Trenton Kidd, the redshirt sophomore, unable to put it down. And then a whistle.
Here comes the full court pressure.
Last whistle against VCU before the break was against Brandon Johns, his 4th personal. Johnson, they break it rather easily. This is Saxen. He's been a hot hand, missed it.
He's getting such deep penetration. He's getting a deep catch every time down the floor. He's got 15 to lead his team.
But Debbie, you think that is what their offensive strategy needs to be. Saxen at the other end with a tip back up and in. A stick-to-itiveness by Jaden Nunn.
I think it's been their biggest adjustment. And here comes the full court pressure here, trying to be disruptive. Do what they do, and Saxen on the backside.
5-point game as we come up on the 11-minute mark.
It's a problem with the full court pressure and opening up the court for St. Mary's.
Jackson, the leaner, the hesitation maneuver. This will be a reach, and it came before the shot. As Baldwin gets back on the exercise bike. 17 fouls, so 1-1 here for the Rams, and it will be Zeb Jackson, a 79% free throw shooter, to the free throw line.
That's what VCU needs to do right here. They need to change the rhythm of the game. They've gone to the full court pressure. They need to attack the rim. They've got to get in the paint.
Rams leave another point at the stripe. VCU, a team that has won 9 straight games, their longest streak in 4 years. A-10 regular season and conference tournament champs for only the 2nd time in history, but right now getting everything they want from St. Mary's. Marshallonis, boy, nearly went.
Marshallonis, a bigger, stronger body on the top of the floor. He can get into the paint.
In the meantime, Debbie, they're doing everything they can to get Baldwin back on the floor. Looks like they're going to retape that right ankle. So here's Marshallonis as Nunn picks up his 2nd personal. And Marshallonis now into double digits. Well, you can watch rip-around coverage of all men's games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with Fast Break presented by Nissan. It's in the March Madness Live app. Scan the QR code now and download. Spiro Ditas, Debbie Antonelli, AJ Ross, Simani Morales, Andy Friedman, rest of our TBS crew. So excited to be with you from Albany. 7-point St. Mary's lead. There's a little floater, won't go. Nunn gets it back.
I mean, what a great effort by Nunn off the bounce. He can play the point in absence of Baldwin right now, as you see them still working on trying to get that right ankle ready to go. That's Joshua Wall, the athletic trainer. And here comes VCU now. Change the rhythm of the game. Get to the free throw line. Expect that full court pressure on made free throws.
none. He's only a 70% free throw shooter. He's a sophomore out of Flint, Michigan. Part of that menacing starting defensive backcourt for Mike Rhodes with Ace Baldwin. He's been a terrific 3-and-D player. Can he dig deep here?
That's one of the great strengths of VCU, is their ability to change the rhythm inside the game. And they can do that with their defensive effort. They're looking to trap now.
6-point game. Marciulionis bottled up.
They didn't get it over.
It's a violation. Second such infraction forced by VCU.
These are the kind of emotional plays that can give VCU a lift. Marciulionis needed to catch that ball on this side of the midcourt stripe, but he didn't want to catch it in the corner because he knew the trap was coming.
So 10-second violation. That's the 10th turnover committed by the Gaels. Just past the midway point, second half. St. Mary's and VCU in a 5-12 matchup in the West. Jackson denied. What a play by Saxen. Jackson gets it back, missed it. So Zeb Jackson pressed into some more minutes here in a bigger role with Baldwin still on the bench.
Well, late on the tag, they miss Saxen.
Give it go. Jackson to the cup.
Absolutely gorgeous. Great repost by Saxen. Tremendous dive by Johnson.
St. Mary's with its biggest lead of the day. They're up 8 on TBS.
Beautifully done. Little pocket pass.
St. Mary's back-to-back tournament trips for the second time in program history. Saxen holding his ground defensively. And this is a technical assist to Mike Rhodes.
Yeah, well, he's upset about the last play, and I thought Saxen did a nice job of walling up.
Another look at the drive by Nunn. And law of verticality. That's what the officials give Saxen credit for. Held his ground. Have to give the defensive player a chance. And the technical free throw, as Dukas is good on the first. Dukas, sensational free throw shooter. I don't think that quite counts as the broadcaster's jinx, but another look at Rhodes barking at the officials. And he's got a lot to think about right now. They're in their biggest hole of the day. Largest lead for St. Mary's, up 9 as we come up on the 9-minute mark.
I always think it's calculated, the timing of that technical, and Mike Rhodes knows. I mean, he's trying to give his team a lift.
Well, Marciulionis got caught against the Loach. Fortunate that they'll retain.
It's a good switch right here.
And here comes Ace Baldwin. What a sight for sore eyes that is for VCU. Appeared to be a significant injury in the right ankle area that they were looking at, but he checks back in. The beautiful backdoor cut and the finish. Dukas. VCU was down 4 when Baldwin went to the bench. Right now they're down 11. Baldwin.
I mean, is the sweat even dry? Come on, man. Comes in the game after the injury and sticks the J.
There is a fearless element to that kid that has been something to watch over the last couple of years. What a player he's become for VCU. Marciulionis, Dukas underneath, Saxen overplay. Boy, look out, DeLoach, nasty spill.
Well, Saxen has been a problem all game, especially here in the second half. There's a part of that pressure package that I was talking about, Spear. You got to have a ball fake in there. Does a great job of showing the ball.
So So that's actually the 4th personal against Jalen Deloach.
He has really struggled to be a factor in the game, Deloach. 2 early fouls, only 6 minutes in the first half.
So it is a 1-and-1. The foul came before the shot attempt by Saxen.
I mean, that was a 2-shot foul.
Before they gather, said the officials, so they come up empty. But both Deloach and Johns now with 4 personals, and now Jaden Nunn, quiet first half, starting to cook.
He can go anywhere he wants off the bounce, and he has been able to get to his spots, but he has not been able to complete shots.
Inside of 8 minutes. Has Nunn to reach in against Marshalonis. Ace Baldwin trying to put his Rams on his back. The injury, and the young man is back. VCU down 7 on TV.
Very good at finishing inside at the rim.
First free throw by Marshalonis is good. You saw the block, Stebby. His career high scoring is 20 in a game against San Diego earlier this season. It came a couple of days before the new year. 20 points in that game. He's got 17 already in the biggest moment of his basketball life. So VCU possession, they're down 8. Ace Baldwin showing no noticeable limp with that right ankle. Johns playing with 4. Backs down Saxen underneath. And he stepped out of bounds. Let's throw it over to AJ.
Spiro, during that last timeout, Mike Rhodes told all his guys to take a breath. There's lots of time. They have to continue to get stops and take good shots on the other end. And he says guys have to keep looking inside. Pass until they get good looks inside, guys.
AJ, it's been a team that has dealt with adversity. You know, they were down 11 points, Debbie, in that A-10 championship game against Dayton. They never panicked. They never seemed rattled. How do they navigate through this? Mrs. Bowen puts it on the deck. Missed it.
Well, getting a couple of stops in a row and then getting into the paint. And it's not a post-up game. It's off the bounce.
Shriver misses everything.
Too quick. Probably not the best choice. Not on the first pass, anyway. Marshalonis has done an excellent job in the absence of Aiden Mahaney, managing the offense.
Johnson, open 3. Not that time from Dukas, knocked around, it's Bowen. Just seems to be everywhere for the Gaels. Dukas, contact, and he's headed to the free throw line. What a massive potential 3-point play for St. Mary's.
Another offensive rebound for St. Mary's and a great attack by Dukas. Rim body ball right there, uses his shoulders to shield off the D.
St. Mary's last year as a 5 seed for the first time ever in this tournament. Walloped Indiana in the first round. They handed the Hoosiers their worst ever NCAA tournament loss. But then in the second round, the round of 32, they were beaten up by UCLA. How far can this Randy Bennett team go in the big dance?
They're shooting 64% in the second half against this VCU defense.
Watkins. This is Nunn. Boy, nice little backdoor. Watkins, though, couldn't squeeze it. Boy, he had an open layup.
I think VCU has become too much off the bounce and breaking off their offense too early. I mean, they got to run through a few things and get the defense to shift. St. Mary's is doing a really good job in the quarter court.
VCU in the second half shooting 5 of 19 from the field. Marshalonis off balance, misses badly. But the Rams need some points. They're down 11 with 5.5 left. Johns feeds the box. This is Deloach. Steps middle, elevates, missed it, but kept alive by Jackson. And then Deloach denied.
How about Bowen?
The relentless defense of Kyle Bowen. And we come up on the 5-minute mark left. Johnson against Nunn. This is Marshallonis into the corner. Johnson, 2 to shoot. Knocked around, they turn it over. Up the floor to Nunn, and this is going to be a reach-in against Johnson.
You know, there's been several plays where Johnson, late in the shot clock, who has the ball in his hands, makes a decision to pass it up late. I think those are the plays that you need your veteran player, your first team West Coast Conference offensive player to make those plays offensively.
So Ace Baldwin back on the bench, Debbie, with 4:43 left. This is a 1-and-1 for Nunn, and it's a 10-point game.
And the one thing that Randy Bennett's team has done so far is they're going to make a mistake, but they haven't made back-to-back mistakes. That would be considered back-to-back mistake right there by Logan Johnson.
Hey, Tanner.
So all kinds of foul issues that both coaches are dealing with. We'll see how long Baldwin stays on the bench here. 4 and change left, 9-point game. St. Mary's, the at-large out of the West Coast Conference. VCU, the champions in the Atlantic 10.
Okay, now if you're St. Mary's, you better not become too casual with the basketball. You got to stay on the attack because VCU is coming. They're going to be high risk, high reward right now. You don't know when the doubles are coming. They're going to look to trap. They're going to really ramp it up here. Look for the backdoor option.
Marshallonis, the kick, Dukas. This has not been their day with the 3-point shot. St. Mary's 2 of 16 from distance. Watkins the curl, and he's going to shoot free throws. Oh, the rules are simple. Win to get in. Tune in as NBA teams battle to earn their spot in the postseason. The NBA play-in tournament begins April the 11th, 7 p.m. Eastern on TNT. So here's Jamir Watkins, young man who has overcome so much. He was a freshman on that 2021 tournament team that was forced to forfeit with the COVID outbreak, as AJ reported at the top. And last year, sidelined the entire year with the ACL tear in his left knee. It has been a long road back for this kid to get back into the dance. And a couple of big free throws to cut it to 7.
8 for 11 in the second half at the line after going 1 for 3 in the first half is VCU.
St. Mary's has not trailed since the early seconds of the second half. Marshallonis bump. This will be on Deloach. Way out on the perimeter, and Deloach has fouled out. And that rotation gets a little bit thinner for Mike Rhodes. Which of these two teams can live up in the moment? St. Mary's out for Mike Rhodes and St. Mary's, or VCU rather, and that's a big loss, significant.
I mean, here's a guy who's long and athletic. He can blow up ball screen action. He can guard multiple positions. He never really was able to get in the flow with that early foul trouble, and only played 6 minutes in the first half. He's only played 19, which is below his average.
So that little peak of Ace Baldwin still on that VCU bench. Have to wonder what his status is now. Left this game with what appeared to be a pretty gnarly right ankle injury. Returned, hit his first basket, but he's been on the bench the last couple of minutes. Jackson.
I'm not sure that's what Coach Rhodes wanted. I think they've had some success getting to the free throw line. You can get to the line, stop the clock.
This is what St. Mary's does. Never rushed. Biding their time, working that shot clock. Marshallonis, the kick. Johnson. Got it.
That's what Johnson needs to do in the late shot clock. Look for his own offense. Right in the pocket by Marshallonis.
He has had one of the great seasons in the history of this program, and then they come up with the theft. It's an 11-point game. This will be a reach-in foul against Jackson. And 2 free throws, double bonus for both teams the rest of the way. Randy Bennett, Debbie, he has taken this program to new heights. 22 years, 9th time in the dance. But again, the pressure for what they hope will be a deep run through this tournament. They've only gotten to the second weekend under Bennett twice. Of course, that magical 2010 season, got to the Sweet 16.
I mean, we said it at the beginning, right, Spiro? I mean, the West Coast Conference has been dominated by Mark Few and Gonzaga, and those that follow know how good Randy Bennett is, how quality his teams are, how efficient they have been. And getting a 5 seed, they earned it with their play this season.
None from deep. And VCU's offense going cold at the worst possible moment.
I think they just have been breaking off their offense too early. They've had success getting to the free throw line. I don't think they should be settling for those threes.
The Rams, if you've just joined us in the second half, have shot 5 of 23. They've scored 6 points in the last 6 minutes when they turn it over here. Miscommunication between Johns and Watkins as they give it right back. And we come up on the final 2 minutes. Randy Bennett wants a timeout. Well, they can start to taste it behind that St. Mary's bench. They're up a dozen late stages on TBS. And a potential trip to the round of 32 hanging in the balance. Just an odd game, Debbie, in a lot of ways. Aiden Mahaney, their freshman revelation, scoreless today, but look at those other players stepping into the void.
Well, if you heard Randy Bennett tell A.J. Ross on the way to the locker room at halftime that they were going to go inside more, then you knew exactly what was going to happen, and they have done that, and Saxen has delivered.
Now the Gaels trying to run that clock as much as they can. Here comes Marshallonis. What a steadying hand he has been with Mahaney in foul trouble and struggling. Dukas, no, but they do use a lot of that shot clock. Rams have to hurry. See the shooting struggles, contact here. Boy, that's not what Randy Bennett wanted.
But that's what Mike Rhodes wanted, and that's what they should have done the last couple of possessions. Stop the clock, get to the free throw line, and take advantage of their ability to set up full court pressure.
4th personal against Marshallonis. So 1:40 left. Jackson, again, a 79% free throw shooter. Junior out of Toledo, Ohio. Transferring to VCU after the last 2 years in Ann Arbor with Michigan. And Debbie, their poor field goal shooting now contagious at the free throw line.
Expect full court pressure here. You have to handle it.
But boy, you can see it, the raw emotions of this tournament. The finality of what this could potentially be for the Rams and what has been just a sensational season under Mike Rhodes. Do they have one more push left?
This is not over. I mean, St. Mary's has to handle this pressure right here.
Boy, Johnson, dangerous pass, Marshallonis.
Well, you had numbers 2-on-1. They'd rather take clock than points. You gotta be able to make a play though here late.
8 to shoot. Johnson to the rack. Missed it. The tip by Saxen, no. And then it's up over the glass and belongs to VCU. Debbie, the other thing about the Gaels, there's such continuity with this team. Such a perfect mix of mostly upperclassmen. They've only used 2 different starting lineups all season long. Just a team that never seems to get rattled.
Older guys.
Watkins! Boy, big three-pointer for the Rams. And that breathes some life into VCU. 62 seconds left as we come down the home stretch on TBS.
Out of the corner, stay strong with it. Know how many timeouts you have left if you get stuck.
VCU, most wins in a season since Mike Rhodes took over. 27-7. Right now they're down 8 with 61 seconds left as a couple of seconds come off the clock. Randy Bennett has Alex Dukas as his inbound man.
I expect him to get it right back. Now you're stuck on a spot. You can't run the baseline. Official letting him know that.
Down to Marshall-Lonis, who's gotten a considerable amount of time in the second half with Mahaney both struggling and in foul trouble and still on that St. Mary's bench.
Play really good D here.
They'll take him down as they take the foul here. Looked like Mike Rhodes was frustrated, Debbie, after that whistle was blown. Still had about 11 seconds left on the shot clock. If you want to foul, you want to take it quickly.
Yeah, and I thought they were trying to get the jump ball there. And you sometimes you tell the official, we're not trying to foul here. We're trying to get a steal. We're going to trap. You just let them know so they don't anticipate.
So here's Dukas, 87% free throw shooter.
When Shriver coming back in the game, Spiro has indicated that they're going to look for a 3. You got to find him early. Switch on everything. St. Mary's does not want to foul.
Dukas, a senior, top 10 all-time in program history, is a three-point shooter. Big free throws there, 10-point game, 38 seconds. This is Jackson. Shriver elevates, missed it. Thought he was fouled, offensive rebound, none. Jackson. And VCU comes up empty.
Kyle Bowen did a great job staying locked on Shriver. Did not let him shake free. As the penetration goes to the baseline, Bowen is there on the contest. Oh, he might have got a piece of the elbow.
I think he did. Boy, what a break that is for St. Mary's. As Logan Johnson, meantime, steps to the straight. 26.3 seconds left. Strong contingent that has made the trek from the West Coast.
I think Randy Bennett's going to be pleased with the decision-making of Marshall-Lonis and Logan Johnson in this game.
No team had to travel further in this tournament than the Gaels, almost 3,000 miles. But it looks like their trip may be extending an extra couple of days. Logan Johnson with his 10th rebound, by the way. And more importantly, the Gaels are moving on to the round of 32 here in Albany. They knock off the Atlantic 10 champions VCU, 63-51 your final.